We are going to continue talking about the fair division procedures. There's no homework this week. I hope you noticed. There will be homework, more next week. But yeah, we are talking about, last time I gave a little introduction. I want to do some more examples this time. This is called the last diminisher method. The last diminisher method. This is another one of these division procedures, and this one can be used for any number of people. The one we talked about before was really for 3 people. That was called the lone divider method. This is the last diminisher method for as many people as you like can do this. And I will just refresh our memory about how it works. The people sort of take turns in order. I wrote a more detailed version of this last time, but I'll give you the abbreviated version. Take turns in order. One person cuts out one piece. This is the big difference between this one and the other method that we talked about. The other method we talked about involves like whoever goes first divides the whole thing into 3 pieces. This is not like that though. In the last diminisher procedure, one person cuts out one piece that seems fair to them. And then the others each sort of get a chance at it, and the others can either say, I don't like that one, or if they do like it, I will say each other person, sort of in order, can pass if they don't like it, or if they like it, if they like this piece, they trim it down until it seems fair to them. All right? If you like the piece, then you trim it down a little bit until it seems like a fair piece in your opinion. And then, once everybody has their shot at it, everybody either passed or they trimmed it down a little bit. Once everybody has had their chance, then the piece goes to the last one who trimmed. Last one who trimmed it, and that's why it's called the last diminisher. That trimming is, you could call it diminishing. You make the piece a little bit smaller, and whoever is the last one to trim it gets to keep the piece. And then, having given that one piece to somebody, then you just keep on doing this over and over again until everybody gets a piece that they like. So the last piece, I'll just say repeat until only 2 people remain, and then those 2 people can just do the 2-person method. I cut, you pick, right? Repeat until only 2 people remain, and then they do the divide and choose for 2 people. All right, this is the last diminisher method. There's a lot of words there, but this is fairly intuitive when you're doing it. Let's try some examples. Any questions about the words? All right, this is a handout. This is actually the same one that I gave out last time. So if you still have it, you can use your old one, or else take a new one. Might as well. Probably showing the old one to all your friends, maybe lost track of it. Here's a new one. Yeah. Pretty soon. If you're really desperate, like I've done some of it, so if you're really desperate to know, you can ask me and yeah. All right, so I would like to, let's look at this has a circular one on one side. Let's look at that, and then I want to do the one on the back, which is rectangular. So I have that here, I believe. Yes. All right, so check out this example, and let's imagine this. I did this same example last time. Let's say that A likes the dotted area, B likes the gray area, and C likes the white area. All right, and they're going to do this last diminisher procedure. All right. As usual, there are many ways that this could go, but let's try and do it. So I'm going to do a last diminisher. We begin with A. I'm going to do it. Sorry, I'm off the top here. In order, A, then B, then C. It actually matters. They're going to take turns, and you'll get different answers depending on what order they go in. So let's all just do A, then B, then C. All right. A likes only the dotted area, so A is going to make one piece which includes a third of the dotted area. Because there's 3 of them, one fair piece would be 1/3 of the dotted area. And like I said, there are a lot of ways you could do this. Let's imagine I'm trying to cut off 1/3 of the dotted area, maybe there, and let's say they also include that gray part, just for fun, all right? So this is A's cut of one single piece. I'm talking about the piece on top there. All right. So my little commentary here, A cuts a piece with 1/3 of the dotted area. That's because that's the portion that they value. And there's 3 people in the mix here, and so they should be cutting out 1/3 of the value. All right, and then this piece gets evaluated by B and C in that order. So B takes a look at it. B can pass, or if they like it, they trim it down. What are they gonna do? They're gonna pass, or they like it? I say they like it because B likes only the gray, and this actually has all of the gray. So B is going to like this piece. B likes it, and then trims it down. Remember, the idea is you trim it down until it looks fair. Now, at this point, this actually looks way better than fair in B's opinion because it has all of the gray in it. So B likes it, trims it to include 1/3 of the gray. So how could that work? Let's say that B is going to sort of change it. I'll put this in a dotted line. I got dots. I might as well use them. How about like that? There. So B sort of trimmed it like that. And now this is B's version of the cut. All right. So now the piece is this much. That's the piece after B had his way with it. Trimmed it down. All right. Now it goes to C. C has the opportunity, if he likes it, to trim it down some more or pass. What's going to happen? I think C will pass. We're talking about this piece right here, and C only likes the white part, and this has none of the white part. So C does not like this piece. C passes. C passes, which means B gets it, because B was the last person to trim it down. If nobody trims it down, then the original cutter gets it. All right, that counts sort of as the first trimming. All right, so C passes, B gets it. And now we continue. I'm going to write the results of that previous one was, I'm trying to copy down, there was a cut something like there, and then B cut it to there, and B gets that piece. All right. And now we continue with the rest of it. So this is sort of like round 2 now. And this time there's only 2 people left, and so we just do the 2-person divide and choose. So A is going to divide it into two even pieces. So now I'm going to say A and C do the 2-person divide and choose. All right, so A cuts it. Where should A cut this? Remember, A likes the dotted portion, so A is going to cut this into 2 pieces having equal amount of the dotted area. I think there's one place that makes sense. Something like that. I'm trying to cut the dotted area in half evenly. All right, somewhere around there. It can be hard to know exactly where to put the line, but something like that. A makes that cut, and now we have sort of a smaller piece and a larger piece, and C gets to pick. Which piece will C pick? The big one, yeah, because that has all the white in it. So A cuts, C picks, C chooses this one down here, all right, the big piece. And then A gets the other one. That's how the two-person method works. A cuts, C chooses, A takes the leftover piece. That's this one over here. All right. So my final answer, I mean, I suppose you can see it pretty clearly there, but it's this. There's a line here and then a line here. And A had this one, C had this one, and B had this one. That's how we do it. The last diminisher method. All right. Any thoughts about that one? All right, let's turn the page right on over. I got a rectangular one. Actually, I feel like the last diminisher method is maybe a little easier on rectangular diagrams. So let's try it on here. Let's do the last diminisher. And let's make all of our cuts. This will make it even a little easier. From the left. What I mean by that is sort of like every cut is just going to be some kind of vertical line which makes a cut like that, right? This is what I mean by we're going to do all of our cuts from the left. So you can just imagine every cut is just going to be deciding how far over should I go from the left. All right. Anyway, I will tell you about the people in this arrangement. Let's say I have 4 people this time, and A likes the dots the best, B likes the gray, C likes the lines and the dots equally. The lines, that's the leftmost thing there. And then D likes the dots and the gray equally, but does not like the other parts. All right? These are the preferences. And we're going to do the last diminisher in that order. A, then B, then C, then D. All right? Make all cuts from the left. A, B, C, D in order. All right? So, first step, A makes a cut. Now, you have to decide for yourself where exactly will A's cut go. It's going to just consist of a vertical line somewhere, and this is meant to cut off 1/4 now. It's a fourth because there are 4 of them. 1/4 of the dotted area. So I hope you can imagine where you would draw the line to make 1/4 of the dotted area. If I was doing like half of the dotted area would be, here, right? That's right down the middle of the dots, but I don't want a half, I want a 1/4. So it should be further to the left, something like this. Is that a 1/4 of the dotted area? I'm trying to cut off just a little bit of it, maybe move it over to the right a little. Can I do that? With my meaty fingers. Oh, I don't like it. All right, this is what I meant. Oh, I can do it this way. 1/4 of the dotted region, something like that, all right? Like I said, these can be a little tricky to get the geometry precisely correct. I don't care if it's exactly right. Okay, this is the piece cut by A, and now the various other people get a shot at it, and they can either pass or they, if they like it, they can diminish it. So it goes first to B. So let me just write my little narration here. A cuts a piece which consists of 1/4 of the dots, right? That's the purpose of A's piece there. It also includes all of that sort of slanty line region, but A doesn't care about that. All right. Next, B looks at this. I think B is going to pass because I'm talking about like this side of it, right? This is A's piece. And B doesn't like that at all because B only likes the gray part. So B passes. How about C? What do you think? I think C likes it, yeah, because C likes the lines and the dots, and this is, entirely consists of lines and dots. C should now trim this So C likes it, and trims mean, so the trim in this case means C is sort of gonna like push this line to the left a bit. And the goal, what C is looking for is a region which includes 1/4 of the lines or dots, all right? So C likes it, trims to 1/4 of lines and dots. All right. I don't know why I put that in parentheses. Doesn't make a lot of sense. I will delete the parentheses. 1/4 of the lines and dots. Now I think that would be, if I went like straight down this line, that would be dividing the lines and the dots in half. To get a fourth, really that's the same as just cutting the lines region in half. So it's gonna be something like that, right? This is B's trim, right? C, yeah, thank you. C. B didn't like it at all. This is C's trim. This region now includes 1/4 of the total lines and dots area, all right?
Wait, I don't understand why. Wouldn't it be 1/4 of the lines, 1/4 of the lines to 1/4 of the dots? Or no?
Because when you cut the 1/4 of the dots, it's not like halfway.
Yeah, yeah, I think you're saying these, like the piece I'm talking about now is this piece right here, just this left thing here.
Okay.
And you might say there's no dots at all in there. Is that your objection?
Like, yeah.
I'm talking about this piece on this side. Yeah, it's true. There's no dots at all. But when I say C likes the lines and dots equally, I just mean that C likes all of this area here, right? And so I'm trying to cut a piece which represents 1/4 of this whole area. And that is this piece, right?
No, I just mean that the 1/4 on the slanted lines is a lot bigger than the 1/4 that A cut to the dots region. Like, is that intentional or?
A lot bigger?
Yeah, you cut more than 1/4.
I'm not sure. I cut more than 1/4 just of the lines region.
Yeah, that's what
Yes.
my question is about.
Yeah. I'm trying, because C likes the lines and the dots, I'm trying to cut 1/4 of this entire region, which is the lines and the dots.
Okay, I see.
Which is,
Thank you.
it amounts to 1/2 of the lines region, but that's because it's, yeah. This is a little confusing. Anyway, that's the trim for C. This now fairly small piece, we're only talking about this piece right here. This goes to D now, but D's gonna pass because there's no dots and gray in there. So C likes it, trims it. D gets a shot at it, but D will pass. So C gets it. So C's piece is right there, right? It's that one on the end. And now we go to a second round. Maybe I will just copy that here so that we remember. C gets that piece, and C sort of like leaves the area, and the remaining 3 people proceed with what's left over. All right. And we do the same thing again. And we're going to keep them in order. So A will be the divider first. So A now cuts. Before, A cut a piece which has 1/4 of the dots, but since there's only 3 people left, we're now going to be considering thirds of everything. So A cuts a piece, and this should represent 1/3 of the dots. That's because there are only 3 players left, and so now everybody's trying to get thirds of what remains. All right. So A is going to make another, line, and you want to position this line somewhere around here so that it cuts out 1/3 of the dotted region. So I'm going to put it, maybe I meant to write it in red. Maybe there, something like that. I'm trying to take 1/3 of the dotted region. This is hard to draw precisely. Do your best, and it'll probably be fine. All right. So A cuts a piece which represents 1/3 of the dotted region. We send it to the others and see if they like it. So B, what do you say? Does B like this piece? I'm talking about the piece to the left of the line here. I think the answer is B does not like that piece because B likes only the gray piece. So B passes. C is out of the game, so we don't consider C anymore. D likes the dots and the gray area. So D likes this area right here, from here all the way over to the end of the grays. I think that's less than 1/3 of this whole dots plus grays area. So I would say D also does not like that piece. It only has a little bit of the dots, but not 1/3 of the dots and the gray area, right? In fact, it only has 1/3 of the dots area. So D also passes. All right, and that means that A gets it because nobody trimmed it, and so the original cutter counts as being the last diminisher. So this is now A's piece right there. All right, and finally, we now have only two people left. They are B and D, and they're going to do just the ordinary two-person cut and pick. So B and D remain. All right, I'm going to copy our previous steps here. C had this piece. A had a piece like that, something like that. All right. B and D are the only two left, and so they now do the I cut and you pick. So B is going to divide evenly. Now, what is B? B likes the gray only. So B is going to cut the gray area in half. That would be like right down the middle of the gray is what I'm trying to draw there. And then D gets to choose which one D likes better. D likes, I scrolled their preferences. D likes the dots and the gray. So which one is D going to pick? The one on the left or the one on the right? I think the one on the left because it has a bunch of dots in it. The one on the right only has some gray and then some white, which D doesn't like. So B cuts, and then D chooses, and B gets the leftover piece. So it's like D got this one, B got this one. That's our final answer. Right? Any thoughts about that? How you like it? I got one more, and then you can all try one. Yeah.
For the circle one, since it was only 3 parts, then that's why it was you cut it into 1/3.
Yeah, that's right.
So
Yeah.
then the reason why this one has 4 parts is why it's cut into 1/4.
Yeah, and in fact, it was 1/4 in the first round because there were 4 people, but it's 1/3 in the second round because there's only 3 left at that point.
And
Yeah.
then
So.
the third round was.
And in the last round, it would be a half, right? Yeah. Yeah, and if you start with 10 people, you do 10ths the first time and then 9ths the next time. It's always just how many people are left in the game. All right, great. Okay, I have one more to do together, and then I have one for you all to try. All right, this is another rectangle one. I feel like the rectangular ones are a little easier for the last diminisher procedure, but I don't know how you all feel about it. So let's try the one which has a rectangle divided into 3 regions. I hope you're looking at this side of the paper, which has a rectangle in 3 regions. All right, and I will tell you again what the people want. Let's say there are 4 people here, and A likes all of the area equally. B likes only the stripy region. That's the one on the left side. C likes the stripes and the dots. And D likes the dots and the white. All right, let's say these are what they all like. And we're going to do the last diminisher with A, B, C, D in that order. All right? So we begin. A cuts off a piece. Now A doesn't care about anything other than just area of the whole thing. So A cuts, and remember this is the first round. There are 4 people here, so we are thinking of everything in terms of fourths, 1/4. A cuts 1/4 of the total area, right? Because that's all A cares about is just the area. 1/4 of the total area, you have to kind of eyeball this, but like half of the total area would be right down the middle, of course. 1/4 would be another half of that. So somewhere like there would be 1/4 of the total area. All right? I meant to draw it in red. I guess it doesn't really matter. Okay, so this is A's cut, this piece right here, all right? That represents 1/4 of the total area. Okay, next it goes to B. Does B like this piece? Show me the thumbs. I say yes, B likes the piece because B likes only the stripes. So B is going to trim it down. It shall be trimmed to 1/4 of the stripy area, right? This is how we do it. So B likes it. B trims to 1/4 of the striped area. All right, I hope you can see in your mind, draw with your hand where that is. It's further to the left, right? Quite a bit further to the left. 1/4 of the striped area, to me, maybe like around here somewhere, right? It's a fairly small piece after that happens. This represents 1/4 of the stripy area. That's the trim from B. All right, and I think the other two are going to pass on this. It's just too small. Like C likes the stripes and the dots. So C does like the stripes in theory, but that's less than 1/4 of the entire stripes and dots region. So C will pass. D likes the dots and whites. This D doesn't like this piece at all. So C and D both pass, and B takes the piece. C and D pass. B gets it. All right, so I'll copy that down to the next step. B is taking a pretty small piece on the left side, which represents 1/4 of the striped area. All right, looks pretty small, but you know, B only likes the striped area, so that's fine. All right. All right, next round, we continue. So again, A is the cutter overall, and they're going to cut this thing into 1/3 of what remains. So this is round 2, and this round is all about 1/3, right? The first round was all about fourths because there were 4 people. Now there are only 3 people remaining. So A again cuts. This time it'll be 1/3 of the total area, which I think will be something like there. Again, this is a little difficult to eyeball, but it should definitely be slightly to the right of that line dividing the stripes from the dots. All right, this is 1/3 of the total area. That's A's cut. B has already left the game, so B doesn't get to evaluate, but C can look at this. C likes the stripes and the dots. Does C like the piece or not? I think yes. I see, that piece is all stripes and dots, so I think that C likes the piece. Like, it's certainly, what C values is this much. And that piece is definitely more than 1/3 of this whole region, right? It looks to be like about a half of it. So C likes it. C will trim it to be 1/3 of the remaining stripes and dots. All right. So the remaining stripes and dots is this entire region here, this whole sort of box here, and I'm going to try to cut it down to just 1/3 of what remains. Something like this. I'm trying to draw it in red. I guess it doesn't really matter. Something like that, all right? So this is C's trim. Now that piece represents 1/3 of the remaining area of stripes and dots. That's what I was trying to draw with that piece. Maybe it should be a little bigger than I drew it. Whatever. All right. What about D? Does D like the piece now? I think the answer is no. D only likes the white and the dots. So D passes on that and C gets it. So C gets it right here. That piece goes to C. All right. We're almost done here. Now there's only two people left, A and D, and they just do the two-person half-Cs. So I'm going to copy this again. B has this little guy over there. C has a something like that. All right. And now A and D do the two-person method.
I have a question.
Yes.
Why didn't C pick the piece that had the stripes and the dots? Because don't they like stripes and dots?
You mean like this piece instead?
Yeah.
Or this piece? This right
No,
here.
that one, yeah.
This right here isn't really a piece. So the original piece proposed by A was like here, right? And then C's job is to trim it down until it seems to be 1/3 of the dots and stripes area. So it's not like C is allowed to choose that part or even this part.
Okay.
C shrinks the blue box down until it represents 1/3 of.
So then why would it C have just also picked B's piece in the beginning? Because it's the same as it.
I think it's not. I mean, this is bigger than B's piece. Like C likes the stripes and the dots together, right? So that piece right here is less than 1/4 of the stripes and the dots together. C would not have liked that piece because it's less than 1/4 of, like, the region that C likes is all of this stuff, and B's piece there is too small. It's not 1/4 of that. So C would not like that little piece that B got. But B likes it fine because B only likes the stripe part, and that is 1/4 of the stripe part. It's a little weird. Okay, let's do the last step. The last step is probably the easiest one. A is going to cut evenly. Remember, A cares only about the area, so A will make a cut somewhere straight down the middle of what remains. All right, I'm trying to cut right down the middle of the stuff that's left over. And then D gets to choose which one they like. D likes the dots and the white area. I think D is going to choose the piece on the right because it has dots and whites in it, whereas the piece on the left has some dots but also some of the stripes which D doesn't like. So A cuts, D chooses, so that D will pick that piece and A will take that piece over there. And that's our final answer. Yes?
For when A is cutting,
Mm-hmm.
and because you want it to be half, is it like excluding the B and C part? Like, is it
Yeah.
starting at the C?
Yeah, so I'm looking at half of that,
Yeah.
right? Half and half, like that, right? Yeah, we forget about the pieces which are already assigned when we're making the new divisions. That's an important question. Thank you for that. All right, I got one for you all. It's just on the back of that same sheet. And I would like you to try the last diminisher here, and I will tell you what they like. Let's say A likes the gray only, B likes the stripes and the dots, C likes all of the area equally, and D likes the dots and the gray. All right. And they should go in that order, A, B, C, and D. See what you think. I'm going to walk around and see how you're doing. By all means, chat with your friends about it, if you've got any. The first step should be A cuts off one piece which represents 1/4 of the gray, right? This is how you should begin. That first cut. Yes, 1/4 of. That looks good. All right, here. Let's go first cut. Yeah, so the piece we're talking about is from the left side. How's it going? That's good. Yeah, good. That's great. You good here? Can I see it? But you want to fold up the area of the strip that you want out. How's it going? I like this cut. He likes cut. Yeah, I agree. That's good. First cut. How's it going here? I like those cuts. This is great.
So when we cut the second one, are we talking about this small piece?
That's right. Yeah.
And not this? Okay,
Yeah,
so like,
it's like A made this cut to be trimmed to back, so you don't need that much.
okay, and then we just have, if C likes this piece,
Right.
and C does.
Because C rules 1/4 of the
Everything?
total area, but that's that looks good.
And then for this one, for the D, would I just say pixels because it links? Or do I have to do
That's
that?
not one. Like the piece you're talking about now is this part right here.
Oh.
Because there was like a big piece and then it got cut down, so now we're just talking about this one.
So when you're trimming, it will be more
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
Okay, so if both of them pass it, it's, if C and D both pass, then it goes back.
It goes to the last diminisher, which is the last person who trimmed it, which is me.
So you trim it so that it's one diminisher starts, so it's 1/4 of this piece. Where I would draw it, or would it be over here?
It should be further left.
There's no dots. Do you know what I'm talking about? Because if you picks 1/4 of this whole piece, which I get that, but there's no dots.
What, sorry?
There's no dots. That's true. Yeah.
But like, does it like stripes and dots?
He likes the stripes and the dots equally.
So they'll be happy with whichever.
Yeah. Right. That's the
That's like my
I like this
question
first
too.
cut. Yeah.
So like it would be just
That's still too much. It would be 1/4 of the stripes and dots area. So the stripes and dots area is all of that.
Yeah.
So you want 1/4 of all of that would be pretty far over.
Oh. Okay.
Or no, it would be one.
Doing okay here?
Yeah. Does this look right?
No.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, great. How's it going? Oh, this looks good. Yeah, great. Still good over here? Yes.
And I said C would take it because they involved it, but then when I hear D was done and the grid, but half of that was done. I don't think C cares. Should I do consent?
So here.
Yeah.
Well, actually, at this point, since there's only 2 left, there's no trimming anymore. We're just
Oh,
doing
right.
the 2%.
So we just get that.
Yeah, right. So you take this side and 8. How's it going here? Yeah, that's
When it trims it down.
So it should actually be 1/3 at this
Oh,
point. It's the same.
Yeah.
And then C.
Wait, did you do another trim?
Yeah, I think that's great.
Oh,
Sorry.
I was supposed to have
Understand. How's it going here? I like this.
C passes it, so then D likes it, so then it trims 1/3 of it.
No, I think it might be.
We're only like,
How's it going?
Yeah, I was.
If C passes, then does D trim or does it just D?
Yeah, I think that's. Because it should be putting out
But then I should just look at the
Oh, right.
Yeah, but C will trim
No,
us,
it's
I think not so much.
But they have to turn to 1/3.
Yeah, 1/3 of this whole area.
Oh, this way.
Yeah, because they, no, it's 1/3 of the whole area.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, because that would be fair, so they got 1/3.
It's gonna be the A.
How's it going? Yeah, so now.
So then it can literally just be on.
Good, still good? Yeah, that's good. How's it going here? Okay. So B. Yeah, sure. Yeah, no, this is good. So B goes back to here, and then does C like that? Now we're only done with this little piece. Yeah, but I think this is actually too small. This would be less than.
So they would pass on.
Yeah, C and B would both pass.
Okay.
So B gets that little piece.
Okay. Am I doing this right?
C likes it.
And then so now I go to just the.
Just
to the lines.
yeah, that's great. Let's go over this because we gotta go soon. Folks seem to be doing all right. These are, I would say, these are kind of tricky. I don't know if you feel the same way. You know, some people like this kind of geometric stuff better. Some people like the numbers better. I try to mix it up a little throughout the course. Anyway, we are going to start with A. A's first cut should cut off 1/4 of the gray area, which should be something like that. The first cut should get only a little bit of the gray area, and I'm talking about this piece across there is A's original proposal. B likes this, so A cuts. B likes it, so B is going to trim it down. And B likes the stripes and the dots. That's this much. And so I'm going to cut this piece down until it's only 1/4 of that stuff. And actually, if I move it to the left, it'll end up cutting through just like half of the striped part. This is B's trim. Cuts it way down to the little piece on the left. I think everybody got this far. There was some confusion after this point for some folks, but this is a great start. So B trims it down. At this point, C actually doesn't like that little piece on the left is what we're talking about. C doesn't like that piece. It's because it's less than 1/4 of the total area, and what A cares about, or what C cares about, is the total area. So B trims, C passes, and D passes. I mean, D really doesn't like that. D likes only the dots and the gray, and that has none of it. So D passes also, which means B gets it. B gets it. So B here gets it. All right. They are the last one who trimmed it, so they get it. All right. That's the first round. Any questions so far? I think as I was walking around, most people did great with that. So in the second round, now we are looking at thirds of everything. So we should begin this time with A cutting out 1/3 of the gray part, which is something like that. All right. So A cuts this time 1/3 of the gray. It can be a little hard to tell the difference between 1/3 and 1/4 when you're looking at the picture, but something approximately correct will be fine. Okay, and next, B is already satisfied, so now this piece goes to C. Does this piece, I'm talking about this piece on the left here, is that represent 1/3 of the total area? I think it does, and I mean the total remaining area. So C likes this piece, and C will trim it down until it represents, like right now it looks to me like about half of the total area. C will trim it down until it represents 1/3 of the total area, which would be somewhere, and this is hard to say, but maybe somewhere around there. This is a trim, this is C's new cut. All right, I tried to put that line so that it represents sort of 1/3 of the total area, where that's like 1/3 over here, and the other 2/3 would be over there. All right. Okay, so C trims it. D likes the dots and the gray area, but I think this right here is not big enough for D's taste. So D passes on that. So C trims, D passes, and C takes it. Like that. All right. C gets it. All right, and then finally, so I will copy this down. The last step is just going to be the two people who remain. This is B. C took it around there. All right, and now we just have two people remain, A and D. So A does the cut into half of the gray. Remember, A still only cares about the gray, so A's cut will go right down the middle of the gray area. D gets to choose which one does D like, the one on the left or the right? D likes the dots and the gray. I think they are going to prefer the piece on the left, right? So D takes this one here, and A takes that one there. And this is my final answer. I hope that's what you got. I have one thing to say in our remaining 2 minutes. But any thoughts about that, first of all? I hope you got something like this. I will say, note, this is an important thing. Each one gets a fair piece. Fair meaning they each got at least 1/4 of the total value in the whole thing. All right? But something interesting to notice. Sorry, I am... yes, okay, but notice B's piece, remember what B likes? B likes the stripes and the dots. B's piece actually is worse than C's piece in B's opinion. This is something that you might not notice unless you were looking carefully, but check it out. If you imagine like these four people sort of sitting around with their cakes after they decide to divide it up in this way, B is going to look at C's piece, and actually B likes C's piece better, all right? That's because B likes only the stripes and the dots, but C's piece is just bigger than B's, and they both have stripes and dots. So B's piece is worse than C's piece in B's opinion. Another way, the way that they typically say that is B is envious of C's piece. So even though the pieces are fair in the sense that everybody is actually getting at least 1/4 of the fair share, but they're not exactly like equitable because B would have liked C's piece better than getting their own, the piece that they actually got. All right, this is something we will say a few more words about next time.